Hello and welcome back to the channel. Lately, I've been studying cybersecurity, so I'm putting together a series of tutorials to help the beginners out there in getting started. I've been using TryHackMe, which is an online platform to help you learn and practice your cybersecurity and penetration testing skills. It comes with its own browser-based attack machine, which is highly capable and will get you through pretty much all of the modules and exercises on the platform. However, as a beginner, you'll also want to get familiar with penetration testing distributions such as Kali Linux or Parrot OS. In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up your own Kali virtual machine using Virtualbox and connecting to the TryHackMe VPN. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that we want to do is install Virtualbox. So the easiest thing obviously is going to be with the terminal. Now you can do this if you've got a host environment. For example, if you're using Windows, if you're using Mac OS. In my case, I am a Linux person, so I'm using Ubuntu 24.04. So let's install Virtualbox, and the easiest way is really just through the terminal. So sudo apt install Virtualbox. I already have this installed, so it's not gonna pretty much do anything. All it's gonna tell me is that I've got the latest version installed. And the next thing I wanna do is download Kali Linux. So we'll head over to kali.org, which is the official website. Click on download here, and we'll click on the virtual machines images. So they offer installers for pretty much a wide range of hardware, but we're using virtual machines here. So click on that, recommended, and we're gonna click on Virtualbox. So it's quite a big download, it's 3 gigabytes download. I've already got this downloaded, so we'll open up our downloads folder, and we've got a .7z file. Let's extract this, and mind you, this is quite a big file, so this is gonna take you a while. So just be patient, all right? And I'll see you when this is done. All right, so we just finished extracting our zip file here, and we've got a folder. Let's just double check to see what's inside. We've got a couple of files, a .vbox file and a .vdi file. As you can see, that is quite large, so 14.3 gigabytes. That's why it took so long. Okay, so that's ready and good to go. Let's open up Virtualbox. When you open Virtualbox for the first time, this is going to be your main menu. So we've got no machines at the moment, but let's add our Kali VM here. So click on add, go to downloads, go to that folder that we've got, and we can open our .vbox file. So open that, and pretty much that's it, and we're good to go. So you can pretty much start your virtual machine from here, but I would like to show you how to tweak some of the settings. So let's click on the settings here. And the settings that we're interested in is the system. And for the base memory, this is already pre-configured by Kali right out of the box. So they're pretty good at, you don't really need to mess around with any of the settings here. So the base memory at the moment is at 2 gigabytes. If you've got a little bit more memory on your host operating system, you can bump this up to try to increase a bit more of the performance. So in my case, I've got 32 gigs of memory, and I can normally run this at 4 gigabytes for my virtual machine. For the processor, I've got a 6-core, 12-thread processor. So here it's shown as 12 CPUs. So 12 meaning it's just 12 threads. It's recommended actually that you just leave this at 2 or at 1 core of your CPU. Now, just because of the nature of virtualization, when you try to add more CPUs here, it doesn't necessarily translate to more performance because you're pretty much taxing more of your actual host operating system hardware. Basically, if you increase this, it doesn't necessarily guarantee that it's going to run better. So let's click OK on that, and let's run this for the first time. So let's click Start here, and that's going to open up our Kali VM. Now, hopefully in your cybersecurity training, you've been exposed to running a Linux operating system. If you haven't, then we'll go through a little bit of a tour here. And for this virtual machine, we've got the default credentials as Kali, and the password is also Kali. So let's click to log in, and we've pretty much got our virtual machine up and running. So this is a full Linux desktop here. This is running the XFCE desktop environment. And I believe Kali is based off of Debian testing repositories. So they've got their own repos as well that they package like all of the software that you're going to need to use for penetration testing. So Kali Linux has been nice enough to actually have a lot of this configured out of the box. So let's say we want to resize our window here. If you notice, it will automatically resize the window of your desktop environment. If we want to maximize this, it'll automatically resize. So there's no need to mess around with the resolution. So everything is pretty much good to go. So we'll leave it at the full screen here. Now, if you want an actual full screen, you can go to View and you can go to full screen mode. Now, if you see here, the shortcut is Host F. Your host key is your right control, meaning that's the control button on the right side of the keyboard. So let's try the control key. So right control F is going to switch us to the full screen mode. And we're pretty much looking at our whole desktop environment. Now, you might want to work this way. Different people like to work in different ways. I normally just like to keep it at the full screen mode right here. This is more than enough for me. Now, this is a tip that I would like to give, everyone, especially if you're just starting out and you're not really sure about what you're doing and you're afraid that you might break your system, and you most likely will at some point. So Virtualbox is actually really good because you can take snapshots of your system. And once you've got something set up, so for example, we just have our base installation here, we want to take our initial snapshot. So let's minimize this. Let's go back to our main menu and click on the menu here. Go to Snapshots and then take a snapshot. So we'll just name this base install. Give us a description of what we've got. It's going to take that snapshot for us. And whenever we mess up, whenever there's a setting that we change and we don't know how to revert back to, we can always revert back to that base installation. So you can also delete snapshots here. It'll give you an option to restore. We've changed nothing at the moment, so that's probably why that restore option is still grayed out. So let's go back to our Kali desktop here. Now that this is set up, let's go ahead and connect to the TryHackMe VPN. Now, you can technically connect using your host operating system. So I could connect in this case from my Ubuntu desktop to the TryHackMe VPN, but sometimes there can be a little bit of a problem because if you have a firewall that's running, sometimes that firewall might block that VPN access. It just gets a little bit tricky. So if you want like a smooth experience, it's better to do it inside the virtual machine. So let's go to our TryHackMe webpage. Okay, so I've logged into my account here and click on your face, your profile, go to Access. And here we can download our VPN file, our VPN configuration file. So you just want to pick a server that is close to where you live. So in my case, I am in Australia. So let me go ahead and download that file. All right, so the file is downloaded. Let's minimize this. Let's open up our file manager, go to downloads, and this is our OVPN file. So we're going to be using OpenVPN. It'll be a different name for you. In my case, this is my username. So it will also be your username on there. So let's push this to the side for a bit. And now what we're going to do is we're going to connect to the VPN. As a side note, you don't have to leave this file in the downloads folder. You can actually move this wherever you want. It is totally up to you. But in this case, in this example, we're just going to leave it in the downloads folder. we've got our terminal here. So we want to navigate to our downloads folder first. That's ls, and we've got our file there, sudo OpenVPN, and our file. Press enter, enter the password, and it'll give you all this string of information, and basically you are now connected to the Kali VPN. Now, how do you know that you will see a string of information, and it'll kind of like be on pause. Don't worry, you're actually already connected to the TryHackMe VPN. Now, how do you know this? Actually, your VPN IP address for your local machine is going to be showed at the top right-hand corner here. So you'll see this lock and the IP address. So I've just blurred this out for privacy reasons, but that is how you know that you're connected. So another way of trying to figure out if you're already connected is to launch a virtual machine in TryHackMe, and if you can ping that machine, then if it responds back, you're connected. And that is pretty much it for today's tutorial. I hope that you learned something new. I know this was like super beginner level, but I was once in this position, and it was very difficult, you know. So I know this seems like very easy for some people that might be watching, very basic, but yeah, there are a lot of people that still need to understand the basics. So happy hacking, and I hope you had fun, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.